Sheldon Cooper, the highly intellectual yet socially awkward character from The Big Bang Theory, is one of the most memorable figures in modern television. His overconfidence in his own intellect and his blatant disregard for social conventions often create both humor and chaos. However, Young Sheldon, the prequel to The Big Bang Theory, provides an opportunity to explore Sheldon's childhood and dive into the intricacies of his development. While Sheldon narrates his life story with a seemingly unwavering certainty, his perspective is often unreliable in surprising and revealing ways. This not only challenges the audience's understanding of the character, but also reveals more about the complexities of Sheldon himself. Here are 8 instances from young Sheldon where Sheldon proves to be an unreliable narrator. 1. Misunderstanding of social norms. Throughout young Sheldon, Sheldon frequently finds himself at odds with social conventions. His narration often portrays these situations with an air of superiority, as if the social norms that others follow are inherently flawed or unnecessary. However, many of these social norms are not as illogical as Sheldon believes them to be, and his rigid view of the world causes him to misinterpret the intentions and actions of those around him. For example, Sheldon takes issue with small talk, frequently dismissing it as a waste of time. He even views his attempts at correcting others' behavior, such as when he tries to fix Missy for her behavior during a school event, as logically sound. Yet this self-proclaimed logical stance overlooks the need for empathy, emotional intelligence, and connection with others. While Sheldon's narration may make his perspective seem rational, it highlights his inability to comprehend the importance of human relationships and the subtle social cues that others navigate daily. 2. Inflated self-image. Sheldon often narrates his childhood in a way that suggests he was always a genius, superior to everyone around him. He takes pride in his intellect and refers to his scientific achievements, his mathematical prowess, and his accomplishments in a tone that suggests he's already above others. However, the show also frequently reveals his vulnerability and the struggles he faced, which often contradict the image he projects. For instance, Sheldon often mocks his classmates, claiming that they are beneath him in terms of intelligence. But there are several moments where Sheldon's behavior shows that his self-perception as a child prodigy is more complicated. His inability to relate to others emotionally or understand basic social cues shows that his intellectual brilliance doesn't necessarily translate to emotional intelligence or practical life skills. Sheldon's narration doesn't capture this nuance, presenting a skewed view of his life that fails to account for his many shortcomings. 3. Misinterpretation of the world around him. Sheldon's narration often positions him as a highly reliable and observant figure, yet his limited worldview causes him to misinterpret situations around him. His inability to grasp the complexities of human emotions and social dynamics leads him to make incorrect assumptions, which the audience quickly recognizes as unreliable. A perfect example of this occurs in the episode where Sheldon tries to understand the concept of love. His naive assumption that love is purely a biological or chemical reaction overlooks the emotional and psychological components that make love so complex. While Sheldon is brilliant in scientific terms, his misunderstanding of the broader human experience exposes how unreliable his perspective can be. 4. Selective memory of family dynamics. In many episodes, Sheldon recounts stories about his family with a tone of indignation and a sense of superiority. He often casts himself as the victim of his family's misunderstandings or misguided attempts at parenting. However, these recollections are frequently colored by Sheldon's own biases and an incomplete understanding of family dynamics. For example, Sheldon views his mother, Mary Cooper, as a source of frustration, often framing her religious beliefs and her attempts to teach him social values as hindrances to his intellectual growth. However, from the audience's perspective, Mary's actions are revealed to be deeply caring and rooted in her desire to help Sheldon develop into a balanced individual. Sheldon's selective recounting of events distorts the reality of his family's dynamics, presenting an incomplete picture of his upbringing. 5. Inaccurate perception of his own influence. In numerous episodes, Sheldon believes that his actions have a greater influence on the world around him than they actually do. For instance, in the episode where Sheldon thinks his scientific theories have a direct impact on his family's decisions or his school's policies, his self-importance is revealed to be exaggerated. Sheldon tends to assume